Hello and welcome to Edinboro Television. I'm Sarah Gillingham.
And I'm Michaela Leachy, and this is your weekly news update.
Edinboro Associate Professor Dietrich Wagner sculptures were featured in an exhibit by street artist Banksy. Drew Patrick had a chance to sit down with him to discuss these pieces.
World-renowned street artist Banksy put up an interactive exhibit called Dismaland Amusement Park. One of Edinboro's own had two exhibits featured in this project. I'm now joined by Dietrich Wagner to talk about his pieces. Before we get into your pieces, just how were you approached to be in such a big project like this?
Well, about 6 months ago, Banksy's representatives contacted me through email, and I thought it was spam, so I instantly deleted it. And it was a very simple email. They just asked, is this direct email contact for Dietrich Wagner? Banksy wants to get a hold of you. And I kept deleting the emails over 3 weeks until I finally responded. And then I got a very nice personal message from him.
And let's talk about those exhibits you put in. One that is being featured very heavily and is even on some of the Dismaland posters is the cloud playset.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about what you were thinking with this.
Well, that's kind of an old piece for me. It's also my most heavily shown piece, and it was kind of a response to our post 9/11 sort of culture with how we've done international diplomacy and how we've really used a lot of force to kind of keep ourselves safe. Mm-hmm. And I thought that wasn't really a sustainable course of action. So I thought there was a contradiction in how we're trying to be safe through force. So I wanted to make an image that was a contradiction and sort of take a mushroom cloud, which is the biggest symbol of destruction that we've made, and combine it with the safest place one can go, a childhood playhouse, and sort of cram them together to make a contradictory image that makes you question safety and force and what the relationship between those two things are.
Wow. And the other piece you have in there, the tattooed infant with all these company logos, what was the idea behind that piece?
The origin of that was when my wife was pregnant with the first kid. Before the child was even born, we kept getting all kinds of advertisements that were just bombarding us. They must have, I don't know, we were going to a birthing class, so they must have somehow put us on a list of expectant parents. And they were really disturbing advertisements that weren't just selling you a product. They were really trying to sell you lifestyles and a sort of a set of ethics. And so I really just wanted to make an image that was sort of a meditation on how our identities sort of evolve and how we declare them and what corporations have to do with that.
To see the full interview, go to Edinboro Television's YouTube page.
The Highland Games are here, starting Thursday, September 10th through Sunday, September 13th. Edinboro Television's Brady West sat down with the leader of the Games, Dr. Thompson, as they discuss the events and what the Highland Games are all about.
The Highland Games are coming up again here very soon, next Thursday on September 10th. And they're entering their 22nd year here at Edinboro. Now, for a lot of people that might be new here or people who never really pay attention to it, may not know too much about it. Can you tell us a little bit about this festival and its heritage?
Okay, well, the Highland Games is a Scottish festival, and we have a number of different core events that make up the games. One is the pipe band competitions and pipe bands marching together. Another is the Highland Dance competition. We also have a fiddle competition, a harp competition, and then the one thing that most people know the Highland Games by is the heavy athletics, the Scottish heavy athletics, and that's the guys who are flipping trees and throwing stones and swinging hammers around and such. So those are the main events, and then we also have vendors who are selling food, Celtic goods, clothing. We have a lot of fine vendors, and then we have a gathering of the Scottish clans as well.
Now, how many Scottish clans do you know that are part of this festival?
Well, part of our festival, we usually have like 12 to 15 Scottish clans who come. And this is the first year that we're going to have, usually they have their own individual tents, and we have like a Scottish clan community or village. This year we're going to have a large tent that has all of this.
To view the full interview, you can go to youtube.com/etv.
With the Pennsylvania budget not passed, students' financial aid is in jeopardy. Edinboro officials have stepped up to make sure this does not happen. Drew Patrick has more.
In August, Edinboro officials announced they would assist students with financial aid until a new Pennsylvania budget is passed. President Julie Woolman stated that the university is committed to their students.
We have to make this work for our students, and we assume the state aid money is going to come in. We just don't want to hurt our students while we're waiting for that to happen. So we'll get the money eventually when there's a decision about the state budget, but our students need the money now, so that's why we wanted to help.
Woolman also stated that she hopes a budget is passed as soon as possible.
It's really frustrating, and not only for because of state aid, we also aren't getting any of our state appropriation, which is about almost 25% of our budget. We've got none of that funding from the state that is owed to the university. So it's very, very frustrating. I hope this is settled as soon as possible for the good of everyone, especially the most needy in our state.
For ETV, I'm Drew Patrick.
The cost of parking permits are on the rise. Edinboro Television's Ben Jackson investigates why and if there's a chance the price will fall.
Parking permits are an essential tool to the college experience, allowing students to park their cars in designated areas around campus. However, this semester, student parking permits have increased from $30 to $60. And while that may seem like an issue to some students, the Edinboro Chief of Police, Angela Vincent, explains why it is a bit of a necessity.
Well, basically the reason that they've gone up is because there has been an increase in decal costs for us, as well as software increases for the program that we use, as well as staffing issues. So in order to be able to cover those costs, we had to raise the price of decals a little bit.
And what's more, one former Allegheny student explains how it could be a whole lot worse.
And I graduated from Allegheny last May, and our parking passes are $150 a year, and the parking is very limited. They give out more parking passes than they have spots, so it's not like they stop when they have a certain number of, like, all the spots on the lot are filled. So some people park on the street even though there's not street space, and then people park illegally, and it causes a lot of ruckus with, like, the Meadville police. So it's really strange there, and I think that $60 is a reasonable amount for a ticket for a parking pass, even though doubling is insane.
So remember, though it may seem like the raise in parking permit prices seems to be a big deal, it's not the end of the world. For ETV, I'm Ben Jackson.
One of the newest programs to touch Edinboro's campus is the Learning Commons. The Learning Commons is a combination of the Academic Success Center, the Center for Career Development, Adult Student Services, and International Student Services. In other words, it is a more convenient spot for students on campus to find help within these areas, all in one place. Faye Howard, Director of Academic Success and Student Retention, is committed to making sure students who enter the Learning Commons see fit to provide for their every need. It is her focus and everyone who works in the Commons to ensure any student who walks in will succeed in college, after graduation, and beyond.
I am the Director of Academic Success and Student Retention here at Edinboro University, and I'm the first person to ever have that role at the university. Before I was hired, we didn't have anybody solely focused to just this one area, so I'm happy to see that the university made a decision to hire someone, and that someone was me. Well, the Learning Commons is a new initiative that Edinboro University has embarked on for this academic year. What we decided to do was bring a large number of resources in one place to make it much easier for students to access and to collaborate with each other, and just to have a better all-over learning experience. The purpose really and the goal of the Learning Commons really is to ensure that our students graduate in a timely manner and that they persist through the degree accurately. Our standard business hours are from 8 a.m. to 4:30, and our phone number is 814-732-2218. And if you happen to be on campus, you can just stop by any one of our offices.
If you are interested in visiting the Learning Commons for any particular reason, you can do so in the Baron Fornes Library, located on the second floor.
The Bruce Art Gallery, located inside Doucette Hall, is currently holding its first exhibit of the school year, the biannual Faculty Show. The exhibit shows pieces from each of the 12 departments in the Edinboro Art Program and shows off just how much diversity Edinboro's art program has.
I think it's really important. You know, it's sort of, the proof is in the pudding, so to speak. If you have a professor who is teaching things and has a philosophy that they're putting forth, the thing that will sum it all up for you and make it true to you is their own work. You see where they're coming from, and so it's very, very important to make that connection, to see what your professor is thinking about visually as an artist.
The faculty exhibit will continue until September 13th during normal gallery hours. For more information, check out the edinboro.edu events calendar.
Coming up, we have your Fighting Scots Sports Report with Tyler Trumbauer. Keep watching.
Welcome to this week's Fighting Scots Sports Report. I am Tyler Trumbauer. The football team got Edinboro's 2015 fall sports season underway last week at Sox Harrison Stadium. The Scots welcomed St. Joe's of Indiana to Edinboro for the first ever meeting between the two schools. The Pumas got on the board first with a 43-yard field goal from Gavin Voss there. Now down 10-0 in the second quarter, Borough struck gold here with this play near the goal line as he rolled right and connected with freshman tight end Justin Kempka on a 2-yard pass for Borough's first score of 2015. The Scots went into the locker room trailing 10-7 but failed to get it going in the second half. An Austin Reese field goal did not tie it up at 10 to start the third quarter, but that was it for Borough. Puma quarterback Wade Bertrand shed a few tackles here and capped off a 5-play drive with this touchdown scamper, taking a 17-10 lead, a lead St. Joe's would never relinquish. Sisson struggled throughout the night, throwing 4 interceptions in the contest, just like one right here into the St. Joe's defense, as the Pumas of St. Joe's went on into this one in the Thursday night 2015 season opener over Borough for the 30-10 season opening victory. The Scots welcome Shippensburg to Edinboro this Saturday for its 2015 PSAC opener. That game is set to kick off at noon and can be heard on WFSC 88.9, EdinboroNow.com, or with the TuneIn app. It also can be watched live on ETV or Edinboro.tv. The women's soccer team was the next group of Fighting Scots to get the 2015 season underway, as the ladies kicked off with Clarion just 1 hour after the football team. Borough opened the season with 2 solid victories. The Fighting Scots defeated Clarion Thursday night 1-0 with Jansen Hartman netting the lone goal. Also, Sierra Davis played all 90 minutes in goal for the Scots and got the win, but only had 1 save as Borough's defense was solid. Gary Kagiovis' group won its home opener on Saturday too, winning 3-1 over regional power Notre Dame of Ohio. Ashley Mutkus found the back of the net twice, and the Scots managed 17 shots on the day. The ladies will remain in the Borough for its next pair of games, hosting Shippensburg Friday afternoon at 1 p.m. and Millersville Saturday evening at 5 p.m. The men's and women's cross-country teams held their lone meet of the season on Saturday with the Doug Watts Distance Gala. Edinboro experienced much success on the Doug Watts cross-country course. Elliot Martinkevich won the men's race, with Corey Weefing finishing right behind him. Newcomer Ida Narboval won the women's race. Teammate Emma Sullivan finished in 3rd place. Both Elliot and Ida won PSAC male and female athletes of the week for their wins. The teams will be going to Michigan State now for the Spartan Invitational next Friday. The women's volleyball team got their season underway on Friday, just a day after the women's soccer and volleyball teams, as they opened the season up at the Hall of Fame City Challenge in Canton, Ohio, this past Friday and Saturday. The ladies went 3-1 during their 2 days at the event. They started off with 3 straight wins over Concord, Urbana, and Malone before falling to Northwest Missouri State. Challen Litweiler, Sydney Trathan, and transfer Victoria Severo led the way for Borough. The ladies are in action next at the Virginia State Tournament this Friday and Saturday. One last note, the tennis teams will compete in the PSAC Singles and Doubles Championships this weekend in Bloomsburg. That's all for this week. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at ETV Sports to stay up to date on all the latest Borough athletic happenings.
We have for you this week.
Make sure to go to EdinboroNow.com to see all of the latest Edinboro happenings on and off campus.
Have a wonderful week, everyone.